Welcome to Sunforce Media, the preaching and teaching ministry of Dr. Rick Hunter. Please subscribe and like and forward this link to your family and friends, people you want to discuss with and study with. We'd appreciate it very much. It helps us move this thing globally faster, but it also helps you to be able to relate and talk with people who are interested in what you're interested in and share the message and use them in your study clubs. This ministry is built on lessons, on focused studies, on sermons and ministry initiatives that we'll be talking about, people that we'll be interviewing. So we encourage you to stay with us. And again, subscribe and like because that's how we move forward. And I appreciate that you're here. Please keep us in your prayers and your positive energies for what God is doing in this ministry here and starting to do outside of this area and around the globe. For those who have been asking how to support the ministry, we will have that information posted shortly in the ways that you can utilize to support this ministry. And until we get that posted on, just keep your prayers and keep your energy coming. We'll get that posted, and we're thanking you already in advance because that's how we do ministry and that's how we work. Today's message, and these messages are going to be tight and kind of short because they're designed for you to be able to share with other people in short and small context without a lot of time. And then there's other sermons that are on here. There'll be other Bible studies that are on here. So a variety of it. And then we'll be starting to share our ministry initiatives as that comes on board. But Sunforce Media is what you're looking for. All right, we're going to study today on the message, the topic, the thought of how to fight giants. How to fight giants. We're talking about David and Goliath. That's the thing that we're looking in for, that we're trying to lock onto here. And we're going to be reading from 1 Samuel chapter 17. 1 Samuel chapter 17, I'm going to pick up reading at verse number 4. So 1 Samuel 17, verse 4. And the champion went out from the camp of the Philistines named Goliath from Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. And so Goliath was just under 10 feet. He was about 9 feet 6 inches. He had a bronze helmet on his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail, and the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of bronze, about 126 pounds. And so what Samuel was trying to do in this writing here is to let you, not to let you know just how large a person Goliath was, but he's trying to paint a picture of the damage that this man can do. What he's trying to picture for you is the damage that sin can do in your life. The damage that it brings, the size that it brings, the weight that it can put down on you, the mental despair, the frustration, the tiredness, the weariness. He's picturing that. So when he's describing the size of Goliath here, understand that's juxtaposed, or he's looking over at the weight of sin that's coming at you, in front of you. And he said, then he stood and cried out to the armies of Israel, that is, Goliath cried out and said to them, why have you come out to line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine, and you the servants of Saul? Choose a man for yourselves, and let him come down to me. And then verse 9 and 10, we'll read those. If he is able to fight with me and kill me, then we will be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then you shall be our servants and serve us. And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. Goliath was challenging the armies of Israel, but in effect, he was really challenging the power behind the armies of Israel. He surely was going to try to kill them, but not only that, he wanted to kill their power behind them, the power behind them. And so you got to ask yourself the question, what is the power? What is the power behind them? What is the power behind you? What is the power source of your life? What is the power source that you acknowledge, that you live in, live with? He's trying to get at God. That's where Goliath is going with this. He's trying to get at God. And if he gets at him, then he can destroy everything else. Satan doesn't really want you as much as he wants the God that you serve, the power source behind you. You're really insignificant. You're more a tool to get what he wants, to get at who he wants, which is God. And so what we have to understand is that when we're living through our lives, when we're moving forward in our lives, when that happens, that we're not only representatives of God or ambassadors of God or moving for God, but that Satan is now going to attack because he wants to get at God. He wants to get behind it. He wants to break you down so that you don't want to do anything, but so that he can expose your God as a fraud. And you see that happening in the world. Many things happen. People don't believe in God. There isn't a God. There isn't that. If there's a God, I don't care. All of that happens. But remember where you are in the fight. So how to fight giants. These giants are going to come and they're going to keep coming. So some basic rules that you can put into your life to help you with the challenges that are happening. First of all, you prepare to fight giants in secret places. You prepare to fight giants in secret places. Don't go out to find your Goliath until you've gotten ready to meet the challenge. Don't speak before you think. Don't go off before you tone yourself down. Don't jump in the middle of something just because you feel like getting in the middle of it. How many times have you spoken when you should have taken time to be quiet? How many times have you decided to snap or to go off simply because I am tired? You were tired and you had enough, and you didn't slow down to try to see if the mud or the dirt could settle in the water, and it could be clear to do and to think more clearly about it. So you prepare to fight giants in secret places. How did this happen? In chapter 17 of 1 Samuel, about verse number 34, in that text, but David said to Saul, your servant used to keep his father's sheep, and when a lion or a bear came and took a lamb out of the flock, I went out after it and struck it and delivered the lamb from its mouth. And when it rose against me, I caught it by its beard and struck and killed it. Don't think that when you start solving a challenge or issue in your life that all of a sudden things are going to get better. David had to follow through. He had to keep going when it turned to attack me. In other words, a problem that you're going out to solve can take on different shapes and forms so that it creates or recreates itself and comes at you from a different direction. Help me, please, in teaching this. It'll come at you from another person. It'll come at you in another way. It'll come at you from a place you never thought. It'll come at you from a person you never thought. Somebody, I thought you loved me. I thought you liked me. I thought you were my friend. How could you? It comes that kind of way. Well, Satan is he's still on the same problem, but now he's giving you misdirection. He's trying to discombobulate your life. Satan is trying to pull you apart piece by piece, piece by piece, brick by brick, vein by vein, muscle by muscle, sinew by sinew. He's trying to pull you apart so you can feel the pain of being pulled apart. Has that ever been you? Some of you are shaking your head. Some are saying, yeah. Some of you are saying, I've heard it, I've been it, I'm in it now. David was prepared for Goliath in secret places with that bear and that lion tending the sheep. He was back on the backside of the house, that just in Nowheresville, God was preparing him. And God prepares you too. He'll never send you out to do a job. He'll never send you out to do a work. He'll never send you out to do something without preparing you for it. And so you have to ask yourself the question, am I open and receptive to what God is trying to pour into my life, what he's trying to build into me? You know, you don't have to snap, but you can. You don't have to go after, but you can. So prepare to fight giants in secret places. Have you been praying? Have you been having people to pray for you? Have you been doing some study on the particular problem or challenge? Have you thought through it? Have you been doing the work on you first to make sure that you're ready to go? At least you have some foundation to think, I can be my best self in this, or do you literally just go and jump off the cliff? Prepare to fight giants in secret places. Secondly, giants keep coming. Giants keep coming. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 16. Giants keep coming. And the Philistines drew near and presented themselves 40 days, morning and evening. Goliath wasn't going anywhere. He knew who he was. He was a premier fighter. He was the largest fighter. And he says, I'm not going anywhere. Has it ever felt like problems in your life won't go away? They just keep coming. You almost solve one, and when you get it solved, another one is already starting to form out on the horizon. I see you staring at each other. I see you looking at each other. You're eyeballing each other. You see these problems coming, and when I just got this fixed. I just solved this problem. I just worked on me. I just got this, and another one is always coming. That's life. God knows it. God feels. God walks with us through it. But more than that, are you still enjoying the journey of life? Have you given up on enjoying life? Have you given up on feeling good about the fact that I was able to wake up today and I could feel the sun or see the rain or whatever and enjoy the process of life? Second thought is giants keep coming. Goliath wasn't going anywhere. David was going to have to deal with him, and there are problems in your life that if you don't make up in your mind you're going to deal with and handle them, they are going to keep coming, and they're going to keep coming and coming until you deal with them. If you don't, you'll be waking up every day with a psychosis. You'll be working up every day with depression. You'll be working up every day with internal maladies and illnesses that move from from the mental to the biological, from the mind to the body and back and forth again. And so the second thing is realize that giants keep coming. Well, how then if they're going to keep coming, then how do I acknowledge that? Well, realize that we live in a world that is replete with sin. It's everywhere. It's in us. It's around us. We are here. We're moving through it, trying to be the best person we can for the Lord. And that becomes a problem many times because we think that God is going to put us in a Garden of Eden by ourselves, and all the problems that other people face, we won't have to face, when in fact, that's the very world that we live in. We can make it better. We can do things to make it better. We can work toward that, but that's this world that we live in. Giants keep coming. Your giants keep coming in your life. Are you tired of facing it? Have you acknowledged the fact that you can just turn your back on your giant, but that doesn't mean the giant is going to go away? If you need to do work on you, what work are you doing on you? How am I going to find the work I need to do? How am I going to find the humility? Where is it? Man, these are hard questions. I know you're saying, but Dr. Hunt, this is a lot. This is a lot for right now. I need to go get some rest. I need to shut my eyes a little bit. Don't go. Stay with us because this helps. The third thing is that you have to know a giant when you see a giant. You have to know a giant when you see a giant. Verse number 28. Verse number 28 of 1 Samuel 17. Now, Eliab, this is David's oldest brother. Now, Eliab, his oldest brother, heard when he spoke to the men, and Eliab's anger was aroused against David, and he said, Why did you come down here? And with whom have you left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know your pride and your insolence of heart, for you have come down to see the battle. David is going to meet Goliath, and along the way, he meets his brother. And Eliab starts talking about David, trying to run him down. Where did you leave those few sheep? And that's how we talk to one another. That little car that you got, that little job that you think you have, we know how we use language to try to run somebody down or let them know that they're not important or this is not significant or is really nothing. You just think you're more than you ought to be. You think you're all that in a bag of chips too, and that's not the case. All right. So this third thing is you got to know a giant when you see one. Now, David could have gone off on Eliab by attacking him. Eliab said, why did you come down here? Why are you here? What are you doing? Where have you left those sheep? I know you. You're just haughty. I know you. You think you're important. I know you think you're better than all of us. Why are you here? And he goes through all of that. All right. The problem then becomes David could have focused in on Eliab as the giant, but he didn't because Eliab was not the giant. In other words, don't get distracted by other problems and don't create problems for yourselves that are not there. Don't grab somebody else's phone to see what's going on and who they're talking to and this, that, and the other, because you're gonna find something even if it's not there. You'll find something that is regular stuff to be there, but you make it something that it's not. Okay? You try to hear things into a statement, into a conversation that are not. Do you damage yourselves? Do you wear others down by that presence? You got to know a giant. The giant was Goliath, and if David ended up fighting Eliab, he would just wear himself down and his strength down and his ability down, not handling the real problem. So are you all pushing people away from you? Or are you yelling, arguing at other folk to get them to try to back off and not engage you to be your best self and do the best that you can? And then the fourth thing is don't listen to carnal advice. Don't listen to carnal advice. Verse number 38. So Saul clothed David with his armor, and he put a bronze helmet on his head. He also clothed him with a coat of mail. And David fastened the sword to his armor and tried to walk, for he had not tested them. And David said to Saul, I cannot walk with these, for I have not tested them. So David took them off. All right? Don't listen to carnal advice. Don't listen to your crazy friends when they try to tell you, this is how you handle this. This is what you do to this person over here. This is how you fix that. Don't listen to the carnal advice. Don't listen to people say, well, you fight fire with fire, or you fight infidelity with infidelity, or you fight this with this other human thing. He said, don't fight with carnal advice, because God is not in that. If you're going to go to the battle, you want God's strength and God's spirit with you. So don't fight that other thing that is there. Don't listen to carnal advice, because your friends are going to give it to you. All of you. Sometimes some people use alcohol as carnal advice. This is how I just make myself feel better. Or drugs. This is how I cope with the situation. I don't care. I just kind of tune out. Don't listen to carnal advice, whatever you do. Saul was giving him wrong. David had not proved that armor. When he was with the lion and the bear, it was God doing that. David said, I have to have God here. The advice is, what is God calling me to do? What kind of person is God bringing out of me? What kind of person does he want from me? Do I need to be able to forgive myself before I can adequately forgive others? Do I need to go back and find some people that I need to apologize for and apologize for things that I've done or said, so that I can get myself back on track? And so the fourth thing is, don't listen to carnal advice. And then fifth, fighting giants is an intimidating experience. Fighting giants is an intimidating experience. 1 Samuel, verse number 10. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse number 10 says this. And the Philistine said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. And when Saul and all Israel heard the words of the Philistine, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. Now David was the son of the Ethionite of the Bethlehem of Judah, and it goes on to name him. Whatever you do, fighting giants is an intimidating experience. When you go to fight the demons in yourself, everybody's not going to line up and encourage you to do the best and be the best you can. There's going to be some people that try to pull you back into whatever mess you were in, no matter how deep and nasty that pit was. There's some people that are going to try to pull you there, one, because they're there and they don't want you out, or secondarily, they don't want you to be in a better situation than they are, so they will lie to you. They will tell you you were more fun, you were better, you were this, you were that. It's an intimidating experience when you try to walk with God, because you start seeing things about yourself that you don't like and that you know you need to fix. So you start seeing things that you've done that you know are not good and they are not healthy. And then the sixth thing is giant fighting is a lonely experience. When you go to fight the giant, you're going to be by. When David went to fight Goliath, he was by himself. All the armies were behind him back there, but they were not up at the fight. When you go to fight giant, when you get down with your issues, your problems, your challenges, you're going to have to go down there realizing that I'm in this with God, but everybody else, they're there. They're doing whatever they want to do with their life. They're going on with their best life. They're moving forward. But it's going to be lonely because there's going to be support that you need, and you're going to need it from some people, and they may not be willing to give that support or that energy to you, that positive energy, because they're tired of you. They're tired of the mess. They're tired of going through it with you. But it's a lonely experience, but you're going to come through it because God's going to bring you through it. You look at that. You keep that in front of you. And then lastly, know what to remember. Lastly, know what to remember. And this is so important. In chapter 21, now we're moving over a whole chapter 2, but in chapter 1 Samuel, chapter 21, and about verse number 9. Verse number 9. So the priest said, the sword of Goliath, the Philistine, whom you killed in the valley of Elah, there it is, wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If you will take that, take it, for there is no other except that one here. And David said, there is none like it, give it to me. You got to know what to remember. When David dealt with Goliath, he pulls out of that situation. Right? Then his life again was threatened for killing Goliath, and he's on the run. He's being challenged. Saul is around him. Saul is threatening his life, and David is now out there by himself. Well, he had his army with him, but he had no weapon, didn't have any food. He said, I've got to get the weapon. So he asked the priest, do you have here a sword? Now, you're talking about the temple. Sword's not really there. But the priest said, yeah, we do have one. When you killed Goliath, you took his sword and you brought it here as an offering to God. We've got that sword. Do you want it? And David said, there's no other sword like it. Give it to me. Powerful statement. You got to know what to remember. He came to the priest, and the priest reminded him what he left there. That was the saw that he used to kill Goliath. Now that's the saw, or the sword that he used to kill Goliath now, or that Goliath had that he was going to kill him with, that he took away from Goliath. Now he's using that sword. Man, that's powerful. The very powerful person and their weapon that marched up against David, David killed them, took the sword, and then when the tables were turned and Saul was now coming after David, he needed a weapon, and that was the one that the Lord allowed to be presented to him. All right? And so you have to then know what to remember. You got to know what to remember. That's the key point in going through problems and challenges and movements in your life, is knowing what to remember. Because Satan is going to rattle your cage. He's going to shake your cage. He's going to break you down if he can. But you know what to remember. So the things then again are, first of all, you prepare to fight giants in secret places. Secondly, giants keep coming. Thirdly, you got to know a giant when you see one so you're not fighting the wrong one. Fourth, don't listen to carnal advice. Fifth, fighting giants is an intimidating experience. And sixth, giants fighting is a lonely experience. And seventh, know what to remember. How to fight giants. How to fight giants. May God bless you. May God keep you. Keep listening. Keep posting or passing on, subscribing, liking. Keep doing that. We appreciate your energy, your prayers, and your support. Be blessed today.